I came across this article, okay, and it showed the top 25 oldest logos still in existence.
Ooh.
Okay, virtually every single one of these logos break the common principles of lasting logo design. Like, you're listening to the Angry Designer Podcast, where we help frustrated graphic designers crush all the industry BS and learn what it takes to charge what you're worth and build badass, rewarding careers. In this episode, you'll learn about the commonly accepted logo principles for building a mark that lasts. We'll reveal the 25 oldest commercial logos still used today that you'll recognize and what makes them so special. Spoiler alert, some of these are centuries old. And some new considerations for building logos to last for centuries like these ones. So grab yourself a drink and sit back, or maybe keep your eyes on the path ahead of you, or better yet, just get to work and enjoy. Hello.
Yo, yo, yo.
Buddy,
Yes.
look at what we got today.
Oh, I'm smelling it, man.
We've got the 2023 most admired whiskey in the world,
Oh.
Michener's
Small
small batch bourbon. A little topical, but you know, like look at that label, right? Like it just looks so old school.
See, that's a beaut.
Right?
Yeah, look at
Well,
that.
that's different. You know what? That doesn't look like anything else that's out there. That's
No,
for
it
sure.
certainly doesn't. The engraving in the middle there, that's just
What is that?
kick-ass.
That's like that.
Oh, it's a still?
Pot, the still. That's
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
Little
Where they
vintage
make it-
still. Looks like it's like 200 years old.
Yeah.
Needless to say, the brand started in 1753.
This one did.
Yeah. So we're drinking something that's almost 300 years old.
Oh, man.
So enjoy that. buddy.
Yeah, salute.
Very good.
Hope it doesn't taste like that. No, wait, this is supposed to get better when it gets older, right? Yeah.
See, that's got
Ooh.
some nice taste. Because lately we've been doing the Scotch.
We have been doing
It
Scotch.
feels nice to get back to some good quality bourbon.
Yes.
And let me tell you, that is a little bit of burn.
That's a
Nice
burn, but it's a good
flavor,
burn. Yeah, it's very good
right?
flavor.
Wow.
Yes, I
Wow.
like that.
Honestly, Michener is one of my favorite ones. It
Yes.
is. Yeah. It's up there with some of the top choices that we had.
It's a good one. It's classic.
It is, right? But I mean, again, it's got this whole old vintage look to it. And it's not like it tried. I mean, that actually looks like an old logo.
Yeah.
And then interestingly enough, I found this other old logo. Okay. Today, get this. So do you know who Wilkinson Sword is?
Wilkinson Sword, a razor company, I think.
So yeah, so
Like Gillette, something
again,
like that?
well, kind of, right? So obviously, I use I use a single blade, right?
What's a
it's
razor,
people
I should say.
Yeah, right. I like
Single blade?
Yeah, I do. Like my dad's old school one, right?
Oh,
I have
shit.
that, and I cleaned it, and then it's like it's one blade, and you change the blade, the actual blade. Kind of dangerous, but kind of cool.
Wow.
And
the ones that bend over?
yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
they kind of like arch. I use that, right? So a single blade. So none
for
of this
you.
Gillette Mach 50 shit for me, because again, that's all
You
just
need-
marketing
I know.
bullshit.
When did we need 17 blades to fucking get a close shave?
That's just 17 more times the chances of you cutting your
Yeah,
jugular and
exactly.
bleeding to death. Thank you, not.
Yeah, I don't
That's
need
not
that.
to mention all the other parts of the body that you could use it.
Good point.
Not even mentioning what that is.
Put it down there.
But needless to say, so I use obviously these blades.
Oh, you do?
Okay. And what I didn't realize is this brand has been around also since like mid 1700, like 1770. So Michener is 1753, Wilkinson Sword 1772. Okay. And they did a logo update. Okay.
This is the
Recently.
old one.
The old logo
That's the new
is overly simplified. Right. It's almost like they took a step towards that blanding bullshit. Right. They got rid of any sort of personality. They kind of, like they made it so damn clean and almost this digital boring. It became boring. You still knew what it was.
Yeah.
And now recently they've launched, their new logo, which is still in fact the same logo, but now it's got more detail.
More
to it.
detail to it.
They've added the since 1772 on top. Right? They've
Yeah.
added some flourishes in the blades. They even changed the font so it feels a little bit older. So it's almost as though they got bored of this fucking blanding shit, and they said, you know what? Let's go back and feel a little bit more vintage, and just those little cues that they added here, just small details,
And that's
have completely changed that logo.
Totally. And you're absolutely right. Like, there's not a lot of detail in there. It's
Nope,
just
still not.
a little bit like the handle part.
The handle, the little line on
and
the
even
blade.
the line on the blade. Like, that's just gives it so much more power and depth.
And then the since
Interest.
1772.
I love that.
Right?
If that's a trend nowadays, you see it a lot.
Yeah, well, fair.
It's kind of cool. I like seeing that.
I like what they've come, because what they've done is they've now added a little bit of character to what used to be
Yeah.
a fucking blanded logo.
Yes.
Right? Like it's like, and granted, okay, true blanding, it would have even gotten rid of the swords
Yeah, it would have,
altogether,
yes.
right? And it just would have been like a font. Wilkinson, sword. One color.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah, nice.
But no, so I like this, right? And this is kind of where, this whole topic today kind of came from, I saw this, and then I found this article that blew my fucking mind. And I was like, wow, we really should talk about this, right? Because, okay, looking at this logo now, right, the Wilkinson, I'm happy that this logo has taken a step back. And if you guys want to see this logo, check us out quickly on the YouTube channel, and we might even post it up on our Instagram. But, I appreciate the effort it took, that just a minor changes to make it feel a bit more authentic.
Yes.
A little bit more original, right?
Yeah.
And so it took a step back, and I was like, okay, the common principles, okay, of building, a logo that lasts.
Yeah.
And we've talked about these. We've even had full-blown episodes, okay, on these common principles of building a logo that lasts, right?
Yeah.
So simplicity, okay? So that's basically keep your logo simple, as in the story behind the logo, right? Don't have the logo try to do too much and tell too much. It's just, it's not the job of the logo to tell your entire history, okay? Number one. Number two, minimal.
Minimal.
Okay?
Yeah.
Minimal. You like that? Minimal.
Minimal.
Minimal, right? Minimal. Try not to add flourishes, drop shadows, try to keep them, as minimal effects and bullshit as possible, right? To keep it looking clean and legible, different sizes, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Timelessness is a big one, right?
Huge.
And everybody knows how much we love trends. Okay. So we keep away from trends, right? Don't add things, don't jump on trendy fonts, and don't add anything to this logo that's going to make it outdate itself within 3 to 5 years,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
Adaptable. Okay, that was kind of a new one that I think we talked about.
Yes, yeah, adapted for the web era.
The web era, right? Making it almost like a responsive logo, right? Where it's like, it's if it's only got 16 pixels by 16 pixels, right? Let the logo change and suit that damn space,
Exactly.
right? Appropriateness, right? Which is like kind of like, is it, like suited for the audience?
Yep.
Okay. So again, and the joke is, of course, if you have a chain of vegan restaurants, don't use a chicken as your mascot, right? Which leads to the last one, iconic.
Yes.
If you can create something that's iconic that people will look at and instantly recognize, over time without even the name, right? So these are, the basic principles that I think we follow, we've talked about. I think everybody has just come to terms with them, and not because we started this trend by any means.
No.
But I think it's just kind of like these have become these generally accepted in the design community as, follow this.
Yeah.
And, you can create something, that'll last forever. It's a great guideline for logo design.
Yeah.
So rules are meant to be broken. And that's what this
Learn all these rules
episode
and then
is.
throw them right out.
Right? That's exactly it. Say what you want, just don't pay for that design education. You got it right here for free from the Angry Designers.
That's right.
So, and you know what? I appreciate that about design. Okay?
Yes.
That design is meant to be broken, right? There's all these rules. I mean, you get people like David Carson who's been breaking rules, typography rules right from the start.
Right off the bat.
But I mean, this kind of falls in a whole new category, okay? Yeah. I came across this article, okay? And it showed the top 25 oldest logos still in existence.
Ooh,
okay?
Wow.
Which I thought was fucking incredible.
Yes.
Okay? And check these out, dude. Like, this is just a small snippet, right? So the oldest commercial logo right now still in existence is the Stella Artois logo, right? And the logo was created in like mid 1300, right? 1360 or 66 or something, right? And largely they still are using elements from that logo.
From that logo.
So I was just like, wow, I know that brand. And then I kept on going through, right? Wilkin Sword.
Yeah.
Okay. That's probably the second oldest one, right? That's
Yeah,
1772.
1772. Jeez.
Twinnings. Okay. Twinnings, the tea company. The
Yep.
tea company.
Gee, lovely.
Twinnings,
1787.
1787. And then the list just keeps going. American Red Cross,
Oh.
Nestle, Heinz, Amstel Beer, Mitsubishi Motors, Bass Ale. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't realize Bass Ale was as old as it was, right? John Deere. Levi Strauss.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he's on here. Of course, Coca-Cola, Union Pacific.
Yep.
Check this one. I don't even know what this one is. Deviled Ham.
Deviled ham.
But that's a pretty damn good logo, let me tell you.
That is.
And it's just neat. Everybody
Prudential. Look at the
recognizes
old
Prudential. Look, like it's legit the same
Jeez.
thing. Just updated, modernized. The Louis Vuitton unchanged.
Yeah, that's
Completely,
exactly the
right?
same. And what is it? 126 years.
And Campbell's.
Jeez. Campbell's?
Goodyear is same essence, right? And even the Lindt chocolate is largely
Jeez.
unchanged.
Totally.
Okay. So I was fascinated by this, right? This
Wow.
article, looking through this. And the reason why I was fascinated is virtually every single one of these logos break the common principles of lasting logo design. And in the sense of, simplicity, none of them are simple.
Nope.
Minimal. Man, some of these are still not minimal, right? Like with their detail, like what Levi Strauss is
Yes.
going. Okay, Louis Vuitton, yes, for sure, right?
Yeah, that
but
works.
the Nestle is still pretty in there. Amstel's still pretty in there, right?
Yeah.
The timelessness, yes, they are, but not for the same reasons that people think. Because I don't think anybody would look at the Twinnings logo and be like, "Wow, that's current or
Yeah.
that's trending," right? Same with the deviled ham, or
Yeah.
it's just blows me away as just how many rules these logos actually break. And that's why I thought this is fucking fantastic, because
Yeah.
I think we need to revisit all these common principles of, lasting logo design, right? Which is kind of what, we're here to chat about today and kind of
Nice.
bring to the table as maybe a new way of thinking, right?
Yeah.
Thing is, Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss, a lot of these, they touch on other elements that you can't just simplify as just follow these, basic design principles and you'll create something that lasts forever.
Right.
All right. So, I got 5 new elements for people to consider when, they want to build something that lasts for centuries. Okay. So, a reason why a lot of these last, of course, is they all have heritage and legacy.
There.
And they're holding on to that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So, this comes from brands that have these really, really deep roots and great pasts and great histories, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you think about a Stella Artois, right? Okay. That logo has evolved. Okay. Enough, but it still holds the horn.
Yep.
And the star.
And the star.
Okay. So again, you can recognize it and they can make a claim. That one actually, oddly enough, even though it's the oldest one, is the one that made the biggest changes, I think,
Yes.
since it started, right? But
Yes.
rightfully so, right? It maintained its core design element, which I think is really cool there. And again, that design element reflects, they can talk to their rich heritage, their
Yes.
history,
Yes.
and that's part of the brand
Yeah.
that they've created, right?
Yeah.
So from a design perspective, right, what they did is they incorporated elements that reflected the brand's history, okay, their legacy, and because of that, it made it timeless,
Yeah.
and it made it respected.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's number 1, heritage and legacy.
Right.
Number 2, okay, cultural relevance. And I think this one is huge, for some companies. Like, what they do is they take, kind of like a stance or, something cultural for that time or a cultural moment in a year or an experience or something or societal changes even, right? And then what they do is like the American Red Cross is a good way of going about
just
this
thinking
one,
that, yeah.
right? Because what it is, it's globally recognized, but it symbolizes humanitarian aid.
Yes.
Okay, so it
Yeah.
now all of a sudden takes a whole level because they've taken a stance and they've associated themselves with that stance. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
so from a design perspective, it resonates with cultural values of the customers, ensuring that they remain meaningful no matter how long a time goes by. Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's number 2 that we have to consider for logos like this.
Yes.
Number 3, brand loyalty.
Loyalty.
So this is where I think the Coca-Cola comes in, right?
Aha.
So creating a strong, loyal customer base, right, keeps people, following these brands loyal for generations.
Right.
Okay. So Coca-Cola did a really good job because they knew who their target market was.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's who they played towards, right? But they didn't change their logo because they knew that their logo was going to become iconic. It's the symbol for what the company stood for.
Right.
So what they did is they appealed to everybody else, in all their other ways, right?
Yes.
Their advertising, their campaigns, their characters.
Yeah.
Like we've seen some shit that
Yeah.
they've tried and it fell flat. Cherry Coke,
Yes.
or Coke One, I think is another one, right?
Exactly.
And
New Coke.
New Coke, and it's the same as old Coke,
Yes.
just new again.
Even the logo was different on that.
But the funny thing is, they all flopped because people, they had a strong connection to the brand, and they just wanted the brand.
Yeah.
Harley Davidson
Yeah.
is another brand that's
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
It is so massive. Right, like the culture that follows that brand is massive, and they play to that.
Yes.
You don't see them trying to appeal to a softer, generation. You don't see them trying to appeal to women. They really don't. Not
No.
saying that women can't buy them, but they don't. They're rough, they're tough, they're associated with that whole, early century brand.
Yeah.
And it still has the same logo, the Harley Davidson brand,
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
It should be on this list, but it came a little later, believe it or not.
Oh, it
right?
did? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it did. So
Yeah.
so from a design perspective, these logos, by appealing to their audience, right? Their logos have turned more from a logo into a cultural icon.
Interesting.
Okay. So, and that builds their strong, recognizable identity that customers connect with.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, brand loyalty, number 3,
Nice.
continuous evolution. Number 4. So we talked about this before, right? New logos, do they evolve from the old one, or is it a completely, like new territory, new future?
Yeah.
Every one of these, if you notice, have evolved from the old one. They're carrying elements forward, right?
Yeah.
So they've been subtly updated over time to stay relevant, okay, with the times, but still retaining the core elements. Stella, again, perfect example.
Yep.
Nestle, perfect example, right? Even Heinz, you could almost argue that it's completely changed into a new logo, but it still has the same arc, right? And it still has the same fonts in place, right? Even John Deere, right? Still has the deer, even though if you think about it, this looks like a Santa deer, where now it's like the John Deere that we know.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The Shell logo is a massive one, which isn't here, right?
Yes.
But the Shell logo was like one of those early century,
Very detailed.
detailed, logos.
Yeah.
And again, it's changed and simplified enough that it's still become a recognizable icon. Okay. But it's evolved it's still maintained that essence of what it originally was.
Yeah.
So from a design perspective, okay, they updated the logos, periodically to keep up with trends, to keep up, to stay contemporary, right? To stay current if they can, but they maintained the key elements. Okay. They kept those in place to ensure, that there can be this continuity and this recognition,
Right.
Over time. Again, big thing here is logo evolution.
Yeah.
Not a completely brand new logo like we've
Exactly.
seen time and time, and just like you just kill
Yeah.
everything that you've built
Yes.
to do that.
Yeah.
And last but not least, I think what they all work with is they have created an emotional connection. Okay. And what I mean by this is Levi's is huge for this.
Perfect for that.
Perfect for this. And again, it's by all means probably one of the ugliest logos ever. Okay. Because it doesn't even look like a fucking logo. It is so big and so obnoxious. And it's got 2 horses pulling the jeans, which, they bucked that whole theory on Mythbusters for the record.
Oh, they did?
Oh, yeah, they
Oh,
did that.
ripped the shit out of those
shit
pants?
out of those things so quick. Let me tell you. But I mean, the reality is, it's like they've created this emotional connection with people, right? Like the 2 horses. It does convey this quality, this durability, which, in all fairness, that brand has been known for. And if you buy their good quality work jeans, those things will fucking last you forever. They're not comfortable.
No, they're work
nowhere
pants.
here do they say it's for comfort, right? They have their comfy ones if you want, right? But that's not what they're known for, right?
Right.
But what they've done is they've created this strong emotional connection with their customers that they knew that they can rely on these jeans.
Yeah.
And again, if you look at like early 80s, early 90s Levi's commercials, which were fucking awesome, by the way, okay? You saw that they were all about, the old jeans, the old Levi's jeans. These jeans last, dude, I had Levi's jeans.
I
that
did,
lasted like
I know.
20 years.
Yes, exactly.
Right? And the only reason that,
Exactly.
I didn't even throw them, but I think they got stolen. Damn ex-girlfriend. But I mean, and again, but I mean, and the reality is it's like, people become very loyal because they've created this emotional connection to the brand, right? So from a design perspective, okay, the logos that connect emotionally with an audience evoke trust and loyalty through the storytelling of their history, of people's experiences, and people don't want to, they don't want to run from that.
Yeah.
Okay. Try to do that with all this new fucking tech blanding shit that you see out there, right?
Yeah.
Like it kills me what they're doing to logos, come to think of it.
Exactly. But also I think too that you got to have a little bit of time on your side too. You know what I mean? Like these like you said, these logos have had time to evolve and to get better, or where some of these things right out of the gate, if you're as simple and as bland as possible, where do you go? It's a race to the bottom.
You're already at the bottom.
You're already there.
You've already created a mark that people are bored with.
Yes.
That you don't separate yourself. Exactly.
It's terrible.
Which is why I'm shocked so many large brands are embracing this blanding idea that we've seen, this oversimplification.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. It was a trend for a little while in the tech industry, right? But I mean, Johnson & Johnson, okay? They decided to spin off and create a division with, remember the font that they just went with a super basic, simple font.
Yep.
And which if anything just causes brain confusion more than anything.
Yes.
And we're talking Johnson & Johnson is like it's 100.
It's here. It's old.
It's an old fucking logo.
Yes.
And okay, granted, this article was prior to them switching their logo. But I mean, again, it's heartbreaking to see, right?
Yeah.
Or the one that really hurt most recently that I think we talked about was the new Eddie Bauer logo.
Yes. Right.
Okay. So I mean, again, it's like, from a logo's perspective, I think our stance was if we saw it and it was a brand new company,
then we would like it. Yeah.
It wouldn't be bad. Okay. Because it's simple, it's current, we like the artwork, but they replaced a very
unique,
beautiful script.
Yes.
Eddie Bauer script, right? There was so much legacy in that. It was 60, 70 years old.
Yeah.
Right. It was basically based on his signature.
His signature, yeah. I know.
Right?
Like,
And
you don't get more authentic than that.
And what was the bullshit excuse? Oh, they wanted to be
Kids
more.
don't read.
Kids don't read. And at this point, it's like nobody even cared. They just knew that meant Eddie Bauer.
Yes.
Right. And so what did they do? They got rid of the story. They got rid of the story behind the logo. They've now oversimplified it into, a duck and a goose. And, a big chunky font. Now, granted, but we softened up the big chunky font so it looks like it's hand done.
So it looks like it's handwritten, but
guess what, fucker?
Yeah.
It's not replacing the Eddie Bauer script
the
logo
real,
that you just. So it's heartbreaking to see that, because what they're doing is they're taking these, rich, detailed, logos with history and had meaning towards it. And they just kind of dumbed
just
it
throwing
down.
that all, Whereas like Wilkinson has just kind of leaned into.
They went back to
a better version of what they were currently using.
Yes.
How rare is that to
I'm impressed
unbland.
with this, right? They kind of unblanded. So I think they realized, there was a trend going towards simplifying logos and such, but now they put back some history, some character, and they kind of brought back this whole older look and feel that is more, what's the word? It's just more suited to the brand.
It's totally suited to the brand.
It gives the brand a little bit more justice.
It just gives it, and it makes the logo more interesting, I think.
It does.
Like it's just, and I could stand far away from it, and it's still got lots of detail. I can tell they're swords. It's not, you shrink it down, it's not going to completely
and I guarantee
turn into a blob.
There's going to be, it's adaptable. I guarantee, it'll probably just focus on that W, which if you now look, the W has a little element on there.
Yeah.
So now just that W will end up being their condensed version of it. So they did think this through.
Yeah, they really did.
But the full version now, really speaks to the brand's heritage. It really says, hey, we were fucking founded in 1772.
We're old school.
Own that shit.
Yeah.
Right? Because they can own that. So I think, when designers are going to be like moving forward and creating logos, you now have an option. Like the thing is, I find that, the oversimplification, the blanding of logos, it really strips the logos. If you look at these logos, these old crazy centuries old logos, they're beautiful because they're unique. They're all very different.
Yes.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
granted, some of them might be busy as heck, but the thing is, there's so much heritage and history to these that people recognize them.
Yeah.
Do people care about just a font logo now?
I see. It's funny because I don't know. I think that's, like I said, that it's easy. I think like something like this John Deere, like that's or the Levi Strauss. Somebody drew that. Do you know what I mean? Like this is not clip art.
It's not clip art.
You're not going to find that back in 1864 or whatever.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But so you know what I mean. So somebody actually, somebody with some serious talent, had to create.
So I think you hit it on the head. Okay, these were all created by somebody who is an artist,
who's a
designer,
right?
Who created something for longevity,
right?
I think the oversimplification of logos that we're seeing, those decisions aren't coming from designers.
I don't think
those decisions are. Look at
go.
Eddie Bauer. Okay, that wasn't a design choice.
No,
that was the new CEO who simplified a couple other brands, and he came in, wanted to leave his mark, and made this big case. But it was a business decision.
Yeah, that's right.
It had nothing to do with the brand. It had nothing to do with like the history, the legacy of the company. He was trying to basically shake his dick, and be like, I'm here now, and I want to make an impact. Seriously.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the design team are crying because
cringing, right?
Getting rid of this classic logo.
The brand team is probably walked out on the whole experience,
why
right?
Would you do this? But
so I think that's a huge thing because again, I have heard a lot of designers, they're unhappy with blanding, because all the logos are just turning into typefaces.
Yes.
How fucking boring is that going to be?
Exactly.
Imagine going to a grocery store, walking down the aisle and seeing milk, sugar. Like it's just going to feel like you're in a communist society and everything is commoditized.
At least
milk by this brand, sugar by that brand.
At least when we do it here in Canada, we have the no name brand, which is
the legitimate no name.
Looks good, really, even though it is great, just right? Milk, but it's Helvetica, so it's classy.
They do a good job with it.
But you're right. That would be just sad to bland down everything across the board.
Right?
Yes.
And it felt like that for a little while.
Yeah.
But I'm appreciating what that there's a little bit of a resistance towards this. Okay. So what I did is I updated the design principles, a little bit, and I'm just throwing some shit out there, to for people to take into consideration to build a logo that lasts for centuries.
Yes.
Okay. So this isn't now just building a logo, but let's revisit what these design principles could look like, right? So number one.
Yeah.
Okay. Balance simplicity with detail.
Nice.
Right. Okay. So, create a clean logo with unique design elements, but avoid trying to lose its character.
Yes.
Okay. And again, add the subtle details, like with this Wilkinson sword, right? Add the details, the things that reflect on the brand's essence. Okay. There's no reason to get rid of the since 7072. That's part of the brand. This is a fucking sword. Add that little sword 3D element.
Yes.
It's still a simple logo.
Yeah, totally.
Right. So balance, simplicity, and detail. Don't just simplify for the sake of simplifying.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Number two, incorporate storytelling if you can. So this is kind of completely contradicting to the whole keep it simple. Right. Don't expect the logo to tell the whole story. And it doesn't have to tell the whole story, but imagine how much more awesome it is if it has a story behind it. Okay. A simple story. Okay. And what I mean is like use images or symbols that tell, the brand's history, but you don't have to tell the whole fucking thing. Okay.
Exactly.
And like integrate like elements or cultural references that connect with the audience that's intended for the brand.
Yeah.
And you know who did a really fucking incredible job of this?
Who?
Recently. So you guys can all even CJ.
Oh,
CJ Colley with his film Weston logo
with the
donkey,
the donkeys,
right? Because the history is that this film festival is on this beach where randomly in the UK, I guess there's donkeys that hang out
That's
on the
right.
beach,
Yes.
or the people sell them for donkey rides. It's part of the history
Yeah.
of the location of where the film show is.
Right.
So what did he do? He incorporated a fucking donkey with, you know, a
With the
film
film,
reel.
yeah, yeah.
And let me tell you, that logo
Is brilliant.
it's brilliant,
Yeah.
and it's got history. There's no reason to ever replace it, because
Yep.
I don't know how you can make it any better.
Yeah.
And honestly, what are you going to do? Just get rid of the donkey, get rid of the film reels, and choose a font, maybe Montserrat, maybe Poppins. I like how Poppins.
Yeah.
And just, you know,
Poppins.
film Weston.
Yeah.
Done. How fucking boring.
Yeah, that's pretty lame.
He killed it
He
with
did.
this logo, and there's like no reason that logo shouldn't last for 100 years, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
totally,
As
yeah.
long as that show does, that logo should
Yeah.
last.
Yes.
So incorporate storytelling, okay, into your logos if you can, right?
And like you were saying too, with Levi's,
Mm-hmm.
the two horses pulling that signifies tough jeans, right?
Yes.
In a tiny little section,
Yes.
you've got a great story right
You've
there.
got a story.
Even though it was debunked.
Yeah, I know. Even though it was debunked. Mythbusters.
Damn you.
All right. Number 3, ensure some sort of distinctiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're not just dealing with one font brand versus another font brand, like these blending
The
exercises,
blending
right?
stuff, yeah.
Focus on some unique brand aspects, right? To create something that stands out for this logo, right? Just so avoid anything that you see that's generic out there.
Yeah.
Avoid, you know, the trending font or the overly simplified trending font, right?
Yeah.
And look for and highlight some distinct features of the company, the brand, whether it's in the name, whether it's in the color, whether it's in the history. Pull that shit out
Yeah.
and actually make it your own.
Yeah.
Look for that, just that distinct feature, for fuck's sakes.
Totally. Yeah.
All right, you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Distinct feature.
Distinct
if I haven't said it enough times. Okay. Number 4, okay, engage emotionally, okay, with your audience, okay?
Right.
So again, create logos that evoke positive emotions and deeper connections versus a fucking font. And I love my fonts, but
yes.
take a step forward.
Yes.
Try to go deeper than just a font that you like.
Yeah.
Try to find something that attracts or is for the intended audience,
Yes.
which is not you. Okay.
Yes.
Use colors, shapes, imagery that resonates, you know, emotionally with that target audience of who people are, right?
Yeah.
So James Bernard
Yes.
did a good job of this one,
Yes,
right?
he did.
That whole meta llama.
Llama, yeah.
Okay, so again, the audience was coders, I believe,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Because it was like a coding app or something. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
Regardless, he took a hashtag. He found that if he tweaked this and he
Just to
tweaked that
teach.
just a little bit
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that hashtag, it'll turn into a llama.
Yeah.
And now you see this hashtag with a fucking llama in there.
Oh.
Honestly, one of my favorite logos of
That's-
last year was just, it was so simple.
Yes.
But it connected. And I mean, you put that on a t-shirt. I'd fucking wear that. I'm
Yeah,
not even
totally.
a coder.
Yeah, I know,
But I
exactly,
would, because
yeah.
it is so fucking cool.
Yes, and that marries both those titles.
Absolutely.
You've got the coding element in there, and you've got a fucking llama in there.
Absolutely.
Who the hell would think of that stuff?
Exactly, right? A designer would. That's who.
Yes.
And his name is James Bernard.
Yes, Superman.
But really, though, you find that emotional engagement that is enough of a quirk,
Yeah.
okay, for people to connect on, just like Coca-Cola,
Yeah.
right? And that mark, I mean, they should never have to, that logo will outlive the company.
Totally.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they ever decided to fucking change that?
Mm.
Like, holy cow, that is the stupidest thing that you could ever
Yeah,
do.
I know, right? No, that'll never change.
No.
That'll never change.
No.
And last but not least, obviously, use the versatility, but wisely. Okay. So again, the logo is going to, make sure that logo adapts across all the mediums, no matter how complex, how unique, all the flourishes, right? Keep your head on.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep your design head, and just remember that it has to adapt across different mediums, across different sizes. It has to be, adaptable. And I guarantee you, this Wilkinson sword, it simplifies to a W with the sword.
With the swords
I
in it?
guarantee you,
I
it
will.
does.
I will bet
Okay?
dollars to donuts. You're absolutely right.
So,
on that.
check it in sizes, check it, in formats, and make sure that it stays recognizable.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like all these damn brands did.
Yep.
So, again, I'm not saying I'm fucking shaking up the whole world here, the whole design world. I'm not saying that, Massimo knows, he's got a secret here. But if looking at this list of, the top oldest top 25 logos or whatever. And I'm looking at them. I'm like, wow, like they are so distinct, so unique.
Yep.
Nobody could question one or mistake one for another.
Nope.
Where God knows that's happening so much with this whole blending.
Totally.
Effort,
right? Yeah, exactly. Because they're so simple, you know, like look at Lint.
Yes.
I mean, that's such good. That hasn't changed at all.
It hasn't changed at all.
Script.
It's beautiful script.
Yeah.
Like they've capped the script.
He's like,
holy
you
cow!
don't have to.
They're not worried if people aren't being able to read.
Yeah.
Our audience of tweens between 13 and 18 can't read.
Yeah,
script,
you're
so
right. Oh, can you imagine?
Let's make it a blocky font and make it dumb. Duh, chocolate.
It's Lint.
Like honestly, it's you know, I can appreciate this a lot more now.
Yeah.
After going through this whole exercise, after reading the article, after researching all these other brands, right?
Yeah.
I can appreciate, you know, that I think designers need to maybe stop being lazy because I think a lot of them, you know, just kind of, you know, adhere to, you know, the C-suite saying, well, simplify the logo. Let's not spend money in there, because there's so much more than just the logo. It's a brand, and these are brands that are centuries old.
Yeah.
And these logos are ingrained. They're burnt into everybody's heads, whether they need them or not.
Yes.
Whether you like Levi's or not, you know that that's the Levi's logo.
Yeah.
Pretty ugly.
Yeah, totally.
But you know it's the Levi's logo, right? Johnson & Johnson, you know, right? Louis Vuitton, right?
Yeah.
Like you know these things. The Campbell's logo, the Goodyear logo, John Deere logo. Like it's incredible. Even the Stella Artois logo, even though they updated it recently and simplified it, it retains all the elements that logo has. And you recognize that thing just as good as you did 10 years ago.
Totally. And it's funny too, because some of the iterations they had in the 70s were a little wonky.
I know.
And they looked really trendy, I think. I think that might have been what that was hip at that time. But now they've kind of leaned into that. They've gone around to that old school look.
Yep.
But it's still not complicated. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like
I agree. Absolutely.
Simplistic and interesting all at the same time. Like, which is exactly what you want to do.
Kind of feels good. I feel Burger King did one of those as well. Remember they went back to simplified a bun.
Yeah.
Bun and a burger.
Yeah.
Burger King.
Yeah.
Guys, don't overthink this one. Versus, hey, we're going to be a global, you know, let's put some blue into the burger, and, you know, the blue symbolizes globe and burger. Dude, burger, bun, done.
Exactly. You had it the first time, boys.
Right?
Cool. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, again, I think it's fun anyway. I think this was a fun exercise to go through. So
I think the blanding thing is a trend, not necessarily a trend, but it's just something that people are experimenting with now, and it will be gone. I think there's guys like Bernard that are changing stuff. Like you see, everybody sees that llama, that
you can make it
llama.
simple.
Yeah, it's
but
simple.
It doesn't mean
but
it has
exactly like you're saying. It tells a story. There's
simple is complex.
Yes,
right. And this is one of those cases where it's just like, duh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, don't oversimplify where you're just a font.
Right. Yes.
And if it is, make sure you own that fucking
exactly.
font.
Change it. Yeah. Make sure it belongs to.
And bring back Eddie Bauer. Damn it.
We don't like the new one.
Oh, jeez.
Although we did, yes, you're right. We did agree it was a good logo, but just not for Eddie Bauer.
No, not at all.
If that was somebody else, some other clothing company was just coming up, I'm all over
it'd be
that
fine
shit.
as it is, but just don't replace
but that's,
all the heritage and history. Remember, what did we say? Even take the bird and add it to the old script. How beautiful could that have been?
That would have been kick-ass.
Oh, that would have been great.
Yes.
But no.
Nope. Some swinging dick comes in there from the C-suite.
Yep, and that's exactly
What do you really think about that, boss?
Swinging.
Yeah. You bastards, get your hands off the design.
Well, guys, I hope you heard something you liked, hated, agreed with, disagreed with. Let us know. Hit us up on Instagram, of course, because I find that's where the community seems to speak a lot to us. And don't be scared to hit us up on our website and tell us off and that we're wrong on this, because I love controversy and I'll gladly have that conversation with you all. But you know what? I think we need to get our heads out of our asses, stop being lazy, and stop, reverting to simplifying logos.
Yes.
And if you want to know what I'm talking about, the Wilkinson sword, they just changed a little bit, and it seemed to have done so much. And I think that's what the rest of these, I think you want to go simple.
Yeah.
Follow that suit.
Yeah, big time. And it's a gorgeous logo. Like,
I think so.
I can't stop looking at it, man. Like it is.
Yeah.
It is so
simple and it's
beautiful.
Just so beautiful.
Yes,
it really is. So good.
And you're right. Just to see the double W with the two swords.
Yep.
That would be kick-ass too.
Kick-ass too.
Oh,
yeah.
Nicely done. You know who did that or no?
I don't. But
I'm gonna look that up tomorrow. Yeah, because
I'm curious.
That
came in and I was just like, whoa, that's nice, right?
It's really good. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, with that being said, my name's Massimo.
My name's Sean.
Stay creative.
And stay angry.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. Yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. That's it, the end of the song. Next time you'll sing along. Trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to carry on, cause society's a myth put there to make you sit. Listen to what they give. Don't ask questions, shut your lid. Yeah, don't ask questions, shut your lid. I need to run away from this and go get off the grid. Feel like my